Broadcasting from the Nuki Kenya, this is the Me and Larry reality video show, LTL Editorial News, Weekend Review, the Cable News Report. Finally, let's head on to Kenya. Kenya ICC Deferment has been set back. I wonder why. Well, let's just say when the UN has been telling Kenya you don't have a strong enough case to have a deferral, with some of the councils like South Africa, Nigeria, and others, before they hit to the 5 major ones, they couldn't even get to the 5 major ones without the other council, the 10 council boards say, for the UN saying, even though the ambassador to Kenya said, hey, well, at least they could have said we got enough evidence for, you know, and they would have voted for us, but you would have been stopped by the 5 permanent members of the UN Council. Would have stopped you cold. Even though in China, they would have voted for you, and how you was sweet talking them when you got the vice PM coming from China flying into Kenya, and then to be greeted by the Minister of Roads, Franklin Belt. You see, I remember Kenya Citizen TV, the lady Catherine, she was saying about the question about the ICC, did they handle their situation professionally? Of course, ICC with Ocampo, they do not handle it professionally. That's because Kenya don't handle it professionally. Plus, Kenya screwed up earlier, right after the post-election violence in 2007, 2008, and then they agreed on it, which is Kibaki, the president, and it had the Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, to shake hands. Right after they signed that agreement, then they should have worked on how to have a local tribunal. But then again, when the people of Kenya say they don't trust their government to have a local court, especially after the Wagala massacre, and that you know that the people do not trust their government to have a local court. So the key thing is, hey, if they don't trust you and you don't handle things professionally, hey, a perfect example is the water scam that is going on when you have Charity Gilu, and then you have the assistant, who used to be the assistant water minister, Wangi Kinjura. When they don't know how to handle themselves professionally, well, and then others, and then to have the Chinese vice PM to be greeted by the Minister of Roads, saying that they're going to support us in the ICC deferral. No, I think it was something else, that China is building Kenya's roads from Nigeria. And then, of course, to have Franklin Belt to tear down a beautiful home just to build a road where that home could be rented out and make money. You think that's professional for Kenya? And then to have PMU, you know, the Party National Union or wherever, and then the ODM, the Orange Democratic Movement, fighting, and then all of a sudden you have none other than Ruto saying, "Hey, Ruto, evil schemes. And then to have a party, here they are having a party before, they get on the road, and they party on the road before they say things about Raila Odinga, the PM, talking about it was an act of betrayal. Here they are, they get with the group in the village, and they go to town, and they party, dun, 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 dun. Here he is, William Ruto said, the PM, I was on his party, ODM, Raila Odinga, but he screwed me over. It's a betrayal. I hate him. And then you have none other than good old Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta, and the village gave him a spear. He's like, "Oh, I got a spear, I'm gonna kill that PM, yeah." I think that's kind of like childish and everything. Here he is, he banging on the table. Now he want to carry a spear. I'll get you, Raila. And giving guys like him and William Ruto and other ministers spears, and they use it. They're trying to hunt down animals, and they fighting like animals, and that's why you couldn't trust Kenya to handle their way of being professional. So why go ahead and give it to a loose cannon like Luis Ocampo? And Luis Moreno Ocampo, he don't care. And plus, when you had the envelope last year, well, 2 years ago, which was given by Kofi Annan, and Kofi Annan said, Kenya, I think you better look at this and see if you could get a local tribunal, a local court, before I give it to the ICC prosecutor. They don't want to listen. They worry about something else, blown opportunities, something else. They're thinking about doing this and doing that, the Constitution. And here you are, you bring in al-Bashir to the party for the propagation of the Constitution. You think you handled that professionally? And then, of course, guess what? Luis Moreno Ocampo opened up the envelope and gave the evidence out. And of course, guess what? Kenya in trouble. And then you had the Vice President, Kalonzo Musyoka, to try to handle all this. Let me say to all this, why Kenya could be considered a fail-safe country. But here it is, you got the Katiba, and here you are, you're supposed to be a sovereign state, and then you end up being a failed state because you don't handle things professionally, because it was bound to hit you in the face sooner or later. Just had to learn to deal with it. And those 6 suspects for the Ocampo, prepare your speeches and everything. You're not going to go for presidency because guess what? You won't be in it. That means 2012, I guess Raila Odinga, who couldn't get it for 2 years, for 2 terms straight, will finally get it. This is LTL, and LTL got LTL market good. Get with me. You got any products, any items that you need to be put on video? Get with me, LTL, and LTL will market good. This is LTL and the LTL editorial news weekend review, the cable news report, sounding. I'll get you right, you know, thing. Boy, they a bunch of animals, King. The king of government. Sounding.